It was a scorching summer morning in Bad Ischl when the head of a trading company department in an Austrian small town, known to everyone simply as the Angry One, arrived in the spa town. He was on the brink of retirement, which made him appear even grimmer than usual. A tall, stately man, over 1.80 meters tall, with a youthful crew cut and a head as red as a ripe bell pepper. This red head was not only the result of his constant movement in the sun when he didn't have to sit in the office, but also, as was whispered behind closed doors, the result of secret visits to the tanning salon. His anger was legendary, feared by apprentices and colleagues alike. In his company he was known as the Apprentice Terror, because he found it easiest to vent his anger on them. This anger was like a ticking time bomb that could explode at any moment, whether at work or in private, which also heavily strained his marriage. His wife was secretly relieved when he decided to go to the spa alone. Finally, she could breathe deeply without the constant fear of his uncontrolled outbursts of anger. No sooner had he settled into the spa hotel than he decided to explore the town. His first stop was the sausage stand, where he ordered a pair of sausages. The vendor, a cheerful man in his 60s, handed him the sausages with a smile and asked, "With mustard?" "Of course with mustard!" the department head growled. But in his haste and fury, which engulfed him for no apparent reason as he grabbed the mustard tube, he squeezed too hard, and a huge blob of mustard landed right on his pristine white shirt. His face turned even redder, if that was even possible, and he yelled at the poor vendor, "Look what you've done!" The vendor recoiled, while the Angry One ranted and cursed that he had only brought one shirt of this kind. Now he had to run through the entire town to find a replacement shirt. However, in the small shops of Bad Ischl, he found no shirt in his size. Everywhere the same response. "Sorry, we don't have your size." He felt the anger bubbling up inside him, boiling like a volcano about to erupt. As if that weren't enough, his bladder suddenly pressed, an unmistakable signal that could not be ignored. The way back to the spa hotel was far, and all public toilets were occupied. Once again, he was overcome with rage, and in his haste to relieve himself, he was forced to disappear into a corner of a small park. He thought about his spare clothes, only an old tracksuit that would embarrass him at any festive occasion. The humiliation drove his anger to unprecedented heights. But fate had more trials in store for him. In an attempt to order a simple cup of coffee at the legendary Café Zona, he got into a heated argument with the waiter about whether it should be called Melange or Verlängerte. The waiter, a young man with a determined expression, refused to be intimidated and insisted on his version. The Angry One roared so loudly that all the guests looked at them in shock, but the waiter remained firm and refused to serve the coffee until the department head used the correct term. In his unbroken rage, the department head spilled the coffee over his pants, which had already had a hard day. With a face distorted by fury, he stormed out of the cafe, only to find that his favourite fountain, where he wanted to cool off, was cordoned off for maintenance work. The thought of now having to wander through the upscale spa town in his old tracksuit was the straw that broke the camel's back. At the end of the spa treatment, when it was finally time to return home, the Angry One was once again beside himself. He would have liked to stay longer, even though there were so many reasons to be angry. But time was up, and so he angrily made his way home. When he arrived home, he found that his wife had not bought fresh eggs, a spontaneous wish that had come to his mind during the journey home. He had looked forward to a fried egg for his last breakfast at the spa hotel, but there was none. So he had speculated on having one at home. "Why didn't you get fresh eggs?" he shouted at his wife. She, by now accustomed to his outbursts, replied calmly, "I can't possibly read your thoughts, especially from such a distance." That made the Angry One even angrier. He stomped into the bedroom, angrily pulled down the blinds and lay down in bed, still boiling with rage. Thus, He was trapped in his hamster wheel again. In his sleep, he dreamed of his soon-to-be retirement, which made his face turn red with anger even in his sleep. And this would probably be the case for his wife as well when the time came.